In big letters, please, at the top of your paper, write this, volume. And specifically, we're talking about volume of two different things today. The first one is prisms. And the second thing is of, I wish I could remember, how about cylinders? I'm going to give you the cylinder one first. I'm just going to give you the cylinder formula, and then we're going to talk about prisms, and you'll see why it is it works. To find the volume of a cylinder, okay, it's this simple little formula: pi times radius times height. Pi times radius times height. The formula for a prism, if you think back, and I drew this shape here, we'll get back to that one, I just wanted you to throw it down there before you got too messy there. If I would give you this shape right here and say this is 8 inches, oh boy, 8 inches by 3 inches by 3 inches, now 2 inches. How would you find the volume of this? We've done it before, so please tell me you don't. Please don't make me have to re-explain all that. Logan?
I would multiply 8 times 3.
Well, what's the formula you know for that?
Base times height times.
Yeah. Alex?
Base subscript 1 times base subscript 2 times height.
I don't think we ever did any subscription volumes. What? Okay, back in the day, and that was what I was looking for. I was hoping you were going to say that first, but now you would get a little confused. Volume used to equal length times width times height. When you had this, you just multiplied the 3 numbers together and blam. Okay? Now I have to tell you, you kind of have to get that out of your mind, because that only works for this type of prism, which is a rectangular prism. Okay? The length times width times height only works for rectangular prisms, and we are opening up the world to a whole bunch of new prisms. Okay, for example, let me get one out of the book here. For example, a triangular prism. If I do a triangular prism, let's say my triangular prism looks like this. Okay. The volume of this is not going to be, let's say this is 10 inches by 8 inches by 12 inches. The volume of this is not going to be those 3 numbers multiplied together. Okay? You have to use a whole different formula that really means the same thing. So get this out of your mind. Volume, and this is where I thought Logan was actually going, volume of a prism equals capital B times H. Doesn't look any harder than simpler or whatever than that, does it? Well, unfortunately, inside of that capital B and H is a whole lot of stuff going on here. The letter B, capitalized B like that in math, stands for the area of the base. That's what the letter B stands for. And the letter H stands for the height of the shape. Now, if you remember, when we talked about triangles, finding areas of triangles, we said 1/2 base times height. When you talk about base and height multiplied or together there, these two things have to form right angles with each other. They have to form right angles. Oh, are you ready to be completely amazed and enthralled? Yes, 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 you are. I am going to find a rectangular or a triangular. Here, please tell me there's one. Maybe not the right one, but this would work. Oh, wait. here is the issue we have here, boys and girls. If I've got a prism like such, or like such, and I need to find the area of the base, how do I know what shape or what is the base? Say I've got my triangular prism here. What is the base of this shape? Or what is the base of this triangular prism? Ryan?
The triangle,
How do you know it's the triangle?
because if you were to slice it, both slices.
Yes, I knew we talked about this before. Yes, you have to go back when I talked about the proverbial loaf of bread theory. Okay, if you have a shape and you have to slice it so that when you make your peanut butter and jelly sandwich, every shape matches up with the shape on top of it, there's only one way I can slice this so that I keep getting the same exact shape. Okay, I could slice it, set it on the counter like this and slice it like this, but what's going to happen is I'm going to keep getting rectangles, but they're going to get smaller until the very last slice is about that thick. So that's not the base. I would want to turn it like this and keep slicing it like this so that I always get the same triangular thing for my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So, when you see this problem here, you have to change your formula so that it says what you're actually looking for. To find the volume of this, I need to find the area of the base. Volume equals BH. But the base is the area of the triangle, because that's what the base is. And then once I know that, children, what number is the height of this? I've got 3 different numbers to choose from here. How do I know which one of those is the height? And it goes back to this. The height has to be perpendicular to the base. So when you know that this is the base, you have to set it on top of its base, and how tall will it be when it sets on its base? If I take this and set it on its base, how tall will it be? It'll be 12 inches tall. So I could automatically put my little 12 in there. Okay, so now in order to do the problem, I need to find the area of this triangle, which means you got to go look in your formula for area of a triangle. What is the area of a triangle? 1/2 base times height. Do not get this height confused with this height. This height goes with the triangle. This height goes with the prism. They're 2 different H's. Okay, this one is completely separate from that H. We already have our H. We know that's 12. This one is 1/2 of base of the triangle, which is 8, times the height of the triangle, which is 10. Half of 80 is 40. That's what goes in right here. And 40 times 12 is, anybody? Yeah, I'll just put 480 inches cubed. Volume is always in cubic inches. And we'll do a couple more, but please, 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 there's no way you can squeeze all this in, in 2 lines or whatever. It's going to take a little bit of. Some of you at this point should actually be thinking about using some of the really big square piece of paper as opposed to the small stuff. Because a lot of this, the problem with this is you get so lost in doing parts of the problem you forget that there's a whole problem to do. Like you'll do the area of the triangle and forget that you need to multiply it. So you need to organize your thoughts. Ryan?
The height is not 10 from the triangle, right?
The height of the triangle is 10.
But it's the side width versus the height.
The triangle.
Well, mine's right, because I put this little corner right here. It didn't come out looking it didn't look very right, but it was when I tried to draw it, I tried to get it to be a right triangle. Otherwise you'd be correct. This one wasn't, but I didn't have a right triangle to show you, so this and that are not the same thing. Okay. Now going back to our cylinder, cylinders are a lot easier because you don't have all that messy stuff there. But if you think about what a cylinder is, it's nothing but a circular prism. Okay, and if I'm doing the area of the base times the height, what is the shape of the base of a cylinder? A circle. What's the formula for the area of a circle? Pi times radius times radius. Right here it is. Pi times radius times radius. That is the area of a circle, and there is the height. It's the same formula, except this one you can put the letters in, and it's always going to be the same. So this is the same thing as this, but you might as well have the formula written right there. And you just have to make sure you know if they want it in terms of pi or not in pi. They will tell you. Somebody else have a question there?
Yeah. If they give us a triangle, or a triangular prism, will it always have a right angle?
Well, it'll either have to be a right triangle like this, or they'll have to give you the dashed line with the square, with the thing in it so that you can find it. They have to give you, when you look at that triangle by itself, there will have to be a right angle there somewhere, otherwise you can't do the job. Now, take a look at page 511 in your book. Let's just walk through a problem, and you can see just how long and how much time this may or may not take you. Look at problem letter C on page 511. Read it yourself as I read it aloud. Problem C. See the picture of the walls of a garage are 8 feet high, and the peak of the gable of the roof is 12 feet high. The floor of the garage is a 20-foot square. Sketch the base, then find the volume of the garage. A lot of info there. So this is what it would look like on your paper. I would start actually by sketching the garage, because you're a smart kid. You can probably figure that out. Here's what the, now let's start a little higher for myself. Here is the garage, right? If you want, you can do this thing here. You could make the three-dimensional look of it. You're probably relatively good at that or whatever. I don't care if you do this and do that or whatever this is. That really doesn't look very good, does it? Alright, labeling the dimensions was what? 20, 28, and 12. This came out, it was 12. This was 20. This was 20, and the height of this wall was 8. Okay. Following the directions from the book, children, it said to sketch the base. Maybe I should, what could I get rid of here that would make it look better? Does that make it look better? Not bad. Just need to go straight. Is that better? Feel free to answer at any point.
Yes.
Thank you, Kabran. Would it help if I did this?
Yeah.
And maybe this. Flat shingles? No. Alright, the first thing it said, well, the first thing you would do is do what, Ryan?
Right down the one.
Thank you. So volume equals just capital B times H, right? Then I would write down what is the shape of my base? What is the base of this thing, which it said to sketch? Using the loaf of bread theory, if you're slicing your garage into slices to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of, which way would you slice it? And what will be the shape of all those slices? Grace Watson. Exactly. It is this right here. It actually looks like a loaf of bread. Okay, I would slice it so that every shape is this pentagon. Here is my base. It's 8 by 20. Up here, this was 12. So I would write down this. Volume equals the area of the pentagon. And I am going to multiply that by, I like to do this first because it helps me remember what to do last. What is the height? If I were to take my garage and set it on its real true base, how tall would it be? Cameron Atkins? Huh? If I were to take my garage and set it on its base, it's not setting on its base right now, it's setting on that 20 by 20 square. If you were to take it and set it on its base, Schwarz, it's 20. This is the height from here to here. Because if I turn it and set it on its base, set it on this, it's going to be 20 feet high. So the last thing I'm going to do is multiply whatever area of that pentagon is by 20. Now, how do I find the area of the pentagon? I'm gonna have to separate it into a rectangle. Let's do that first. What's the area of the rectangle? 8 times 20. Don't worry, I'll do the math for you. And then I gotta do the area of this triangle and add that to it. Well, what's the area of the triangle? It's 20 by, how tall is this? Somebody said? 4, because I take 20 minus the 8, or 12 minus the 8. And so I take 20 times 4, cut in half is, 4 times 20 is 80, cut in half is, area 1/2 base times height, 40, right? So the area of the base is 160 plus 40, 200, that goes here. To find my volume, I take 200 times 20, and I get 4,000, whatever it was. Feet. This would be the part of the show where you say, okay, I don't get that, I do get that. I mean, like I said, you know, this all needs to be on your paper because there's just too many steps, too many different things you have to do. You need to organize your thoughts, write it all down, get it all. Now, occasionally, children, they'll automatically tell you the area of the base and you don't have to worry about it. Oh, let's look at one more. Look at letter D. A cylindrical candle that is 15 centimeters high has a diameter of 8 centimeters. Sketch the shape, find the volume of the candle, express it in terms of pi. So again, your first thing do, it's a candle. So you've got a cylinder here. Label it. What does it say the candle is? How tall is it? 15 centimeters tall. It's a pretty big candle. And does it say to give you the diameter or the radius of it? Which is 8. And then your next step would be the volume formula of a cylinder. Volume of a cylinder is, we did this pi times radius times height. They said to leave in terms of pi, so I don't have to change that to 3.14. I can just leave it as pi. What's the radius? Somebody? 4. What's the height? 15, correct? My answer is just going to be what I get when I multiply 15 times 4, which is 60, times 4, which is 240. By the way, we always put pi after a number. It's just common. It's still 240 times pi. If you're guessing what 240 times pi would be, you would say it is close to somebody? Yeah, multiplied by 3-ish. And that's, see how easy that one was? That was not bad. All right, for tomorrow, children, dear children, I need a couple. No, let us again do, oh no. 4 through 15, but skip the calculator one there. 4 through 15, skip that one that has a calculator.